So I have two grants. One is the COVID Specialty Outreach, which is to enable veterans like Andy and Josh to become beekeepers and work with them on getting their products to market. So one of the things I do is that's where I give them training, I give them hives, I help them with mentorship, I help them get off the ground as beekeepers, knowing that not everybody's going to be successful. That's why we do grants, right? Is to kind of get into that weird space where normal businesses might lose money, you know, but I think we have some good potential there. I have 40, my objective this year was to have 20 people with hives, and I have about 40 people with hives. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. So that's one of them. And the other one is education and outreach. So I'll show you the display I have over on the other side. And that's really the education and outreach where I do events. I was the featured farmer for the Indiana State Fair for the veteran event. So I got to speak, you know, at a bunch of people there in the board and all that. I go to schools. So I've been to schools with the bee setup I have. And then I partner with Agribility in a program called Heroes to Hives, where we'll do like the small farm conference and things like that. So I'll work with that as well. You know, to start beekeeping, like the far one, the red and white one, that with the two supers we normally put on top, which would collect the honey, that's about a $700 setup when you start talking the wood, the frame. Bees are about $150 for a set of bees. And then, you know, you got to get a suit, you have a smoker. So it's about a $700 setup for a veteran to smart. So this was a nice niche to kind of help veterans get over the hump. Here's you go, here's your hive, here we'll keep monitoring you, help you, give you some hands-on. Because a lot of the programs, again, I'll mention Heroes for Hives, is online. And we partner with them now. After the past year, we've established a relationship with them in Purdue with the entomology department, Dr. Harper, to really get that education and hands-on with it. Because I think that's important. Well, you can learn it all on PowerPoint, right? But until you get stung by a bee, you don't know what it feels like.
I was one of his first recipients. Received a hive, a complete setup of hive. Always talking to him kind of about the process, and he helped me kind of instrumentally throughout the career of a beekeeper. I think that's one of the greatest benefits of being a beekeeper, and through Addie's Orchard is that you know, leaving the military, the brotherhood, the camaraderie was lost, and you know, there's a lot of common shared goals in beekeeping, and along with the military service, that it kind of was a very close-knit fit.
I give out those books as well. So Justin Ruger's a great guy. He's actually a beekeeper with disability, not a veteran, but he does accessible beekeeping, about 70% visually impaired. A lot of times he's needing assistance walking, but he wrote those books because he was a beekeeper that wanted to keep people in beekeeping. So I've partnered with him, and it's kind of a cool relationship. So I'll give those books out to libraries with the grant. But then there's different things I talk to them about, because, you know, veterans sometimes have injuries or hurt. So this is a hive that's it's called a Langstroth, so it's up and down. But you'll notice it's a little thinner than this one. So a lot of times weight's an issue. So this is a 10 frame one, and then this is an 8 frame one. So dropping 2 frames is probably dropping about 20 pounds out of your lift. So this filled with honey, once this top part here gets filled with honey, it's going to be about 40 to 60 pounds. And then there's other things that we do. So this is a long hive. So instead of the bees building up and down, they're building long ways. It's also maybe a little bit more attractive for a garden or something like that, because you can open it up and see the bees go in and out, and then you can put it in there. But you can tell if somebody has like lifting issues or leg issues. Now that there are challenges with it, because like those, I could keep stacking honey boxes on top. This, I'm always limited to 3. You asked me why I got into beekeeping, and funny enough, when I deployed myself in 2005, which is a long time ago, that I knew a lot of people that were in special operations that did beekeeping for some reason. And so all these Army special operations guys are telling me, hey, yeah, we're into beekeeping and stuff. And so then I took a class on it, and then I got a hive in 2016 when we first bought this property. And I was like, yeah, it kind of is, you know, bees do something for you between the buzzing and the task, a little bit of danger that you're going to get stung.